All right, hello. Today we are going to continue our learning of methods. And so before we get to the new topic today, I have just a quick warm-up question for you. We want to have a method that when you send the number correct and the total questions on the test, so say you got 5 correct out of 10, then you want to return the letter grade, so like A, B, C, D, E, F, or no, A, B, C, D, F, whatever it is, for the grade. So figure out like what would be the inputs and the output, set up the method heading, and then how would you call it from the method in main. So pause the video and give this a shot before I continue. All right, so the method heading would be public and static. That's how they're all starting so far. And it would return a letter grade. So that would be a string like A, B, C, D. All right. And then we can call it whatever we want. So we could do calculate grade or something, call it that. And then the two things we need, right, the two pieces of information we need to calculate the grade are doubles or ints. So I guess I'll just do double and then the number you got correct and double. Sorry, I ran out of space. If I can move this over quick. Double total points would be the other variable. Okay, so you would have two coming in to calculate the grade. You'd need the number correct and how many total points there were on the test. Okay, and then there's no semicolon there. They just be open and close to do the code for the method. So do the actual grade calculation between the curly braces. Okay, so that's what it would look like to set up the method heading. And then to use it, to call it, if we were inside of main, what we would call it with is we would call the name, so calculate grade, and then we'd pass in the number correct, say 5, and then the total points, say 10, or whatever it is, with a semicolon to call the method. And then this one we'd want to store it. So we do string grade equals, right? So we declare a string variable, give it a name, and then set it be equal to whatever is returned by the calculate grade method. In this case, some sort of letter grade like A or B. Okay, so the new stuff for today is we are going to talk about scope. So we're gonna have to basically want to learn how to do the scope of variables. And just a general note is scope is the part of the program where the variable exists and can be accessed. All right, so I'm just going to go through an example here with you. It's probably not important actually that you type this up this much, just that you would kind of understand what's going on here with scope. So I have a new file here, just called it scope with our usual main method. Okay, and so in this example, I'm going to say that we have a variable that's talks about the score. So I want to do an int score, and then let's say their score initially is 0 in this game. All right, so basically I'm going to declare a variable called score and set it to have initial value of 0. All right, and so what the scope is basically saying this score variable exists only in the main method, basically between these curly braces or any sub curly braces. So just as an example of a sub curly brace, we could say something like if the player type equals wizard. No, let's do dot equals. Sorry for the thing freaking out here. So if it equals, let's say wizard, let's give them a little bit extra score because they're going to, need some extra help because wizards are a terrible character or something like that. So basically, this score variable exists in this set of curly braces or any sub. So this is inside of there. So these are a sub curly brace, and so we can access the score. All right. Obviously, we don't have a player type variable. That's why it's complaining here, but maybe we'll make one quick. Okay, so when we program with methods, right, what gets really hard and confusing for students is like handling the scope of the variable. So what I mean by that is if I want to increase the score using a method instead of, obviously I could increase it right in main, but as you make more complex programs, you're going to want to start to break it into little methods, which makes it hard to keep track of the variables and like when do you have access to them and all that information. So I'm going to make one method called public static void. I'm not going to have it return anything, but I just want to increase the score. Okay, so basically that's it. I want to increase score. So now if I type score equals score plus 5, I want to increase their score by 5. It's going to complain. All right, and I'm not sure what the message will say, but it basically it says it cannot resolve it as a variable. And the reason for that is this score variable has scope only inside of this main method. It exists only inside of main. Okay, in any sub curly braces. So this is a separate method, right? This set of code begins and ends here, and so I don't have access to score down here. All right. So the question becomes like, how do I handle this, right? Like I need access to score down here, and there's a couple different ways to do this. Okay, one of them is you can declare your score variable outside of any method, so that'll be accessible to all the different methods in here. Okay, so basically, if I went up a set of curly braces, and this is part of the reason why I strongly encourage you to line up your curly braces, is if I went inside of these ones, so for the class, right, this make a variable that'll be accessible to the whole class, actually sometimes called the class variable. I can type basically int score up here, right, and I'm just going to declare it. I'm not going to give it a value yet. I'm just going to declare it. And then I will have access to it in all the methods inside of this class, right? Because it exists in this level of curly braces and any sub braces. So these now are considered sub braces. So we would have access to score. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and I'm not going to declare it anymore. I'm just going to set the value to be 0, set it to 10 there. And then down here, I'm just going to increase it by 5. So I don't need to declare it anymore. I've declared it up here. Okay, and I'm just changing it in this little bit of code, these parts of code now. All right. So one of the things that happens here is if you want to make a class variable, it's going to give you a complaint about it wanting to be static because these methods are static and this is a non-static variable. And I don't want to talk too much about what static means again yet, but basically the way around this, so I'm getting all these errors, is I just have to go up here and type static in front of the int. And so now I have declared the variable here, and now I can change its value throughout the code. All right, so basically I can, change it here, change it in a method, and there's just one variable that exists throughout the whole program. Okay, so just to demonstrate that, I'm going to output the score here, which would be 0. Then I'm going to call increase score. I'm going to call that method. And then I'm going to sys out it one more time. And just to show you that it should start off as 0. And then anytime I call increase score, it'll go up by 5. Right? And so, if we called increase score here, so you can kind of maybe think along with me here, what would be the score at this point if we set it up this way? So hopefully you got that as 10 because we called increase score twice, so it increased the score variable by 5 2 times. Okay, so that is one way around this situation. And for the variable score, I think that might make sense is to make it a variable that's called a class variable. Sometimes it's also called a global variable because it's accessible to all the methods inside of here. But I want to talk about just a second way to do this. All right, so I took out some of my code there just to make it a little cleaner and easier to understand. So we'll take out the player type. But anyways, we've got a score variable that we can access everywhere. Believe it or not, this method is easy. Like when I was first programming, I would make a ton of these what I call global variables or class variables right below the class heading. But oftentimes it's actually frowned upon, and the reason is as you get a really complex program, you have variables all over the place, and so oftentimes it's hard to like if it is a global variable like this, a class variable, it's hard to keep track of where that variable is, where it's changing, and it's actually can be kind of confusing. So the other way to give access to variables in methods is to pass them in and then have it returned. Okay, and this is harder coding, but it's generally the better practice for a lot of situations. And it kind of depends. Like you could certainly argue here that you're going to change the score all over your program if you're making a video game or something. So you'd want to make it a global variable, but sometimes that's not necessarily the right thing to do. Okay, so I want to show you the example of the other way to do this. So I'm going to make another variable called player health, and I'm going to set that equal to 50. Okay, and then I want to have the player take damage. So I'm going to make a method called take damage down here. So public static, for now I'll make it void. I'm going to call it take damage. All right. And what I want to do is I want to make the player health. And just to make it simple, I'm going to have them lose, I don't know, 2 health or something. We'll be nice to the player today. Maybe they're having a bad day. Make it a little easier for them. Okay, so we get the same problem we had before, is we don't have access to player health because it exists only inside of main. Okay, so the way to give it access is when you call the method, pass in the variable you want to take damage. Okay, so when I call take damage, I'm going to say take damage from this amount. So in this case, the player health amount. All right, and so what I need to do in my method then is take that in. So I'm going to do int, and I'm going to call it starting health. And then I'm going to do starting health, and then do starting health minus 2. Okay, and so what is actually happening here as far as variable scope goes is this player health still only exists inside of main, right? It is only inside of that main method. Okay, and I can show you this here in a second. And so what happens is this is actually a whole new variable called starting health, a whole new bucket in memory, a whole new spot, and then we're going to subtract 2 from starting health. Okay, and if you notice, this player health won't change, right? It'll actually still be 50 because this starting health is a different variable, and we took 2 away from that variable. So right now, I'm going to sys out player health, and when we run this, we will see, I'm going to take out these print of the score just to make this clear again. But as I run this now, we will see that the player health is still 50. We didn't actually lose 2. Okay, so that again, this gets pretty complicated. So besides passing it in, what I have to do is also return the new health. Okay, so what I'm going to do is up here in main, I'm going to say, actually, let's do the method first. So I'm going to make this method return an int, and I'm going to do return this, maybe I should call this new health. Let's call this one, let's make a new variable, int new health is equal to their starting health minus 2. And then I want to return that new health. All right, so now I'm going to calculate the new health and return it. And so what I have to do up here is I have to say the player health variable is going to be equal to whatever is returned by take damage. Okay, so in this code, it'll pass in the initial player health value. It'll come down here, take in a 50. So it'll take a 50, subtract 2, return the 48, and then player health will get overwritten with the new value of 48, right? So if we set it up this way, we now have 48. So the idea here is you're going to use a return from the method in order to change the variable up in main. All right, so it's pretty weird because I'm passing it in, then I'm modifying and then overwriting it here. All right, so that's pretty tricky way to do it, and it obviously would be easier just to make it a static, class variable up here. But again, I don't know how to say this, but it's going to be better if you can oftentimes keep more tighter control. Like this one it's a little bit easier, at least as the program gets more complex, to tell what's happening. You're having the player health take damage, and then their health is becoming this new amount after the damage is taken. All right, so that is it. I'm going to make a second video here quick that walks you through the debugger because I think that'll help further our understanding of this. I just ran out of time in this video.